Hey, how's everybody doing? I thought I'd come on a few minutes early so that I can give people time to plug in and to join us. Today I'm going to be starting a series of conversations with you around my travels. As many of you know, I have been traveling extensively for many years now, going to Peru 3 times a year for the last 10 years, traveling to the Andes and also traveling to the Amazon. This year we'll be doing a little bit more as we'll be traveling to Tibet and Nepal, and also we'll be traveling to Bali. So really exciting stuff happening this year. And I felt compelled to talk to you a little bit about my last trip. As many of you know, I have just come back from my trip to the Amazon. And the Amazon's always a very interesting place. It's an interesting place because there's so much there that is beautiful. There's so much there that I think many people would love to experience. And at the same time, it's hard not to be mindful that it can be very dangerous as well. Plants, insects, animals that live in that jungle that, it's their home. So I want to talk today a little bit about something that I learned in the jungle this last trip that just really was profoundly incredible for me. And that is that in the jungle, there is a constant display of life and death. It is one thing that I saw constantly as I walked through the jungle, and I carefully took steps not to step on anything that could sting me. But all around me, there was death and decay and renewal. And when I think about that, I can't help but wonder in our lives where we may not allow this very natural process of life and death and decay and rebirth. We are born to make manifest the glory that is within us. And in order to do that, I think we have to have that level of acceptance about what that means to us and how it is that many of us may be feeling stuck in our lives with the same old job, the same old lover, the same old whatever, same old place. And that's because of our inability to do what I think the jungle does so naturally. And that is to have this sense of life and death all at the same time. And I remember one night we were always on edge. Anytime we heard something loud, we'd like jump up and wonder if a jaguar had entered our camp. And this one particular night, it was right before the evening's torrential rains. Every evening it was beautiful. It rained beautifully. But when I say rain, I mean it felt like somebody had opened the faucet and just turned it on. The sound was amazing. Fortunately, I got a chance to record those sounds, and someday you'll get a chance to hear them as well, but that's down the road. The rain started coming down, and then all of a sudden, we heard this crash. I mean, I'm not talking about a limb fell. I'm talking about a limb fell, like a whole big piece of this tree in the middle of the jungle just fell to the ground. And it scared us to death, and at first we thought it was something else, but it wasn't. It was just that. It wasn't anything coming to eat us. But that just, to me, was such a beautiful example of the natural order of life and death and renewal. And then all along the next day, you could see the green sprouts of grass, the green leaves of new plants that were coming up. It was just a beautiful thing to see. And so I wanted to share that with you because I feel that we sometimes as human beings forget that. We forget that in order for our lives to be prosperous, in order for our lives to be abundant, in order for our lives to be full and of newness, of opportunity, we have to allow the process of life and death to take its part. And so what do I mean by that? Because that's, to some people, they be like, what about death? I don't think we have anything to fear when it comes to death. It's just something that's natural. We are not here forever, as in life is not here forever, and it's constantly in a state of renewal. So I was really thinking about what would it take, and where are the areas that we need to be thinking about ending. We need to think about creating opportunity. We need to think about renewal. And what a great time as we're in the depth of our of winter and soon be entering into this beautiful space of spring, that we really take to heart. And with Valentine's Day just a few days away, I think it's appropriate to discuss relationships. I mean, how many of us have relationships that are past the expiration date? I mean, really, for lack of better terms, how many of you would drink expired milk? How many of you would drink curdled milk? Some of you probably would, but the majority of us would not. And so when I say, if you wouldn't drink expired milk, or anything expired for that matter, moldy cheese, then why do we not let go of relationships that have expired? Why not create that sense of renewal in our lives when it comes to our relationships? Those relationships, friendships, lovers, marriages, whatever, that have clearly ran their course. When do we create that vacuum that allows us to have that sense of renewal that I saw in the jungle, that sense of growth? Yeah, the decay didn't look good and it didn't smell good sometimes, but I knew that there was life underneath all those dark places that I saw. And so in our lives, we have to create that sense of renewal by letting go of the relationships that no longer work. Friendships. I mean, how many of us clog our lives with friendships? I mean, I look at my life and I think about the people I hold close to my heart, and those people I have a relationship with, I'm engaging with them, right? I'm engaging with them. And if you have friends that aren't engaging with you anymore, or they're not keeping their word, or they're not showing up, let them go. I'm not saying that you're rude and you just, you call them and tell them. You just don't engage with them anymore. Create that sense of renewal in your life and come from that place of abundance that, in releasing one particular friend or even a client. How about clients that we hang on to that they're a big pain in the butt, but we're just afraid to let go because we're afraid we won't get more. Well, that's the wrong way to look at it. So that sense of renewal in relationships. What about that job? What about that place that you're stuck in, that you're there because you're afraid to take a step forward, or you're afraid to do something different? All these areas of our lives need renewal. We need the renewal of our minds, the renewal of our intentionality, the renewal of this sense of awe in our lives that we need. And many of us have been through that old relationship we let go of, or that old client we let go of, or whatever, that old job. And we feel this sense of awness and completeness. And that's because that is the order of life. So here's 3 things that I want to share with you that I think can help you with creating that opportunity for that cycle of renewal to happen like I saw in the jungle. The jungle does it naturally. It doesn't think about whether it's going to hurt the feelings of the branches. It just let go of in the middle of the jungle, because it realizes that in its infinite wisdom and energy, it will renew itself by letting that go. Where in your life do you need to let something go? So what's it take for us to get to that step? How do we let go? How do we create renewal? How do we create vacuum? How do we step into a space where we're not clogging up the sink with the stuff that doesn't work? And the first thing is unconditional acceptance. We have to be in a space in our lives where we unconditionally accept the truth. And the truth is that if you are in a relationship with someone, somebody, something, some business, and it's not working, then it's not working. And I'm talking about reciprocal back and forth. If it's not working, let them go. And again, I'm not talking about being rude or writing them a letter, an email. Just quit relating with them. Find someone who loves to be around you. Find someone who will keep their commitments. Find someone who wants to engage with you. And that's, again, business, relationships, love, all of that. Create that by accepting what is true, not what you want. Many of us get into relationships because we have this idea of something that we want in our lives, but that idea is just a fantasy. It's not real. What's real is the unconditional acceptance of what is in the present moment. And that is the truth. That is what's real. That is the radical mindfulness, that radical presence of accepting what is real in your life, not the way you would like to see it, but what is real. The second thing I learned about watching The Jungle is that everything comes to an end. Either by death or separation, everything comes to an end. And so if that's true and we can believe that and we can understand that, then why not just be in acceptance of that? That not everything goes on forever. And every relationship and every job and every opportunity and every client runs its course. And when it's time running its course, it's time running its course. It's our opportunity and our decision to move forward and create that sense of renewal. And then the last thing is that in doing that and moving people through, in my book, Stepping into Greatness, I call that purging, where I would go in and actually go through my database or go through my Rolodex or go through my phone and remove relationships that no longer work. Relationships where there was really no give and take. I mean, seriously, I'm here on Facebook. I mean, we got 10,000 friends out there. I don't know, are they friends? Are they not friends? It doesn't really matter. But the friendships that you have in front of you, in order to find something new, in order to find that new lover, that new boyfriend, that new girlfriend, that new client, that new job, we have to be in unconditional acceptance, realizing that everything comes to an end, and removing that person, place, or thing, letting go, and creating a vacuum for something wonderful to happen. And it will. Because as soon as we create that vacuum, a new friend will step in. As soon as we create a vacuum, then new job will show up. As soon as we create a vacuum, then that new client will show up. Whatever it is you're looking for. And as we get closer to a Valentine's Day, don't beg for love. Never, never, never beg for love. That is the one thing that I see so much during this over-commercialized time called Valentine's Day is people begging for love. You don't have to beg for love if they're truly your friends. And so create that vacuum. And as the jungle renews itself every single day by the process of death, decay, and renewal, we too, as human beings, need to find the courage to do that for our own lives. And when we do, we leave an opportunity for the magic of life. The magic of life to present itself. The magic of life to honor your requests. The magic of life to bless you. And so the jungle taught me more about being radically mindful in that I need to pay attention in my life when I'm clogging things up. I need to pay attention when I'm not in unconditional acceptance. And find a way to just accept what is as it is, not as I want it to be, as it truly is, and then creating space for the love I deserve, for the friendships I deserve, and for the life I deserve. So anyway, that's my lesson for today. That I just wanted to share that with everyone. I don't think I've ever been on a Facebook Live this long at any time, but I just felt there's some other lessons that came around. As many of you know, I had a big bow around me, and that was a moment for me that I really wasn't sure I was going to take. But all I kept thinking was, really, Daniel, you're here. Be present. Be mindful in the moment, and take the opportunity. And I did. And the sloths and the piranhas, and there's many pictures I haven't sent yet. But anyway, I hope you have a great, wonderful weekend this weekend. Remember to be radically mindful about your relationships in your life, and recognize it in finding this space of renewal and acceptance, and in creating that vacuum that you too can have an amazing life. Yeah, that's it. Well, thank you for joining me, those of you that have joined me, and I appreciate your comments. And always, anything I ever post is, please feel free to forward it and share it with your friends. And listen, if you want to travel with me this year, we're going to do some great things. I've already posted the dates to Peru for June and July and December. And then also Bali and Nepal will be coming up very soon too. And let's go have some fun. Let's live life. Let's show the world that we're here to experience life, not life experience us. Have a beautiful, blessed day. I love you all. Namaste.